so that if anyone else wants to learn how to do this, they will know. So just a couple of quick reminders before we get started to make sure that if you have any questions or anything, you can just talk out loud or you can type in the chat box, especially with a small group. It's easy just to talk. But I do ask that, make sure everything is school appropriate language and such. And so today I'm going to show you all a little bit about how to make your own Google Expedition. So hopefully you remember, I think both you, Tamara and Blake, have done the VR tours with me where you use the headset. Okay, so this is basically how to make your own tour. So I'll show you one I made just to give you an idea of how it works, but then I'll kind of walk you through the basics of how to make your own.
No kidding.
So this one is all about Caribou. So you're seeing it kind of from the back side where I created it. So this is my first page where I used an image of the Viking for Caribou, Maine, and then I just gave it a basic description, a tour of special points of interest and history in Caribou, Maine. And then down here is where you can pick a category. So since it's a place, not a sports or fitness or science or people and characters, that's what I decided for the category. I thought places and scenes made the most sense. And down here, you'll see the 4 different scenes I created so far, but I could always add more if I clicked on that. So the first scene I did was Caribou Middle School. So where I did most of my creating was over here on the right-hand side. And you'll see in a minute how I found this image. You can just use Google Earth, basically Google Maps, to find 360-degree photos of places you want to put in your tour. Or if you have a camera that takes 360-degree photos, you can use a camera. Your own 360-degree images that you take from your camera and upload them to your tour. So for this, you'll see in my scene, I can go like that, but I set this as my starting view. Down here, I had the option to set my starting view, so I had it looking right at Caribou Middle School. And then I did a little description to explain, the basics of it, that it was built in 1926, and at one point it was a high school, and then it's going to be demolished this year. And then I decided to put 3 different kind of points of interest in here. So if someone was looking at it, they could click on the different points of interest and see. And down here you see, so like for this point of interest, I found a photo of the school in 1959 when it was Caribou High School.
That looks awesome.
Isn't that neat? And it just has a basic description down here, but you can also record yourself. Oh, sorry, this is if you wanted to select an audio file. So you could record yourself and upload it, but up here, same thing. For like the whole scene, you can record yourself and add that in. And then like, let's see over here. So I have, oops, I didn't mean to go back.
That was an oopsies.
That was an oopsies. So over here, I decided to put in a picture of the new school, since that's kind of the next step. So I found a picture of that online and added that in. And over here, since the pit, the gym is kind of a well-known and special part of the school, I decided to put that in there as well. And then I just kind of randomly picked some sites around Caribou. And I'm not a Caribou native, so I'm sure there are others who would have different thoughts on where might be the most historic, but I decided to do the public library, S.W. Collins, and Burger Boy to kind of get some different types of scenes. And so like here, I found a picture of the library and found out that it was built in 1911, but this is a picture of it in 1912, so someone could pop that up. But then this is one where you can also scan over to this side, and I decided to put in another picture over here because they keep a lot of archives. at the library. So I'm just going to kind of quickly go through this just so you can kind of see this backside of the tour, and then I'll show you how once I publish it, you can see it online. But then I still have to figure out all the details of this, but it should be able to be viewed through the Google Expedition app with a headset. So here's about S.W. Collins. This is the man who started it. So he's the founder. And I hadn't, oh, I forgot, I didn't even quite finish what I was going to say about him. I got kind of distracted, and I need to go back and fix that, which is nice because even though I've already published this, I can go back and always change things. And I'll show you how to get to this site and log in just a minute. And then the last one I did was Burger Boy. And again, I set my starting scene to look right here. At the front view, as opposed to, because I could have had it set to start here, but that would be kind of silly because people
now you're making me hungry.
Right? And I think Burger Boy's open. So this is a picture of what the interior used to look like. And then here I decided to do a pop-up of this new owner who just opened this year as the new owner, and he is there with a guy who helped him redesign it with some different comic book images and such. And so those are just the 4 scenes. But then when I go up here and click publish, I'm going to show you my published site. So this is what it looks like. So if I ever wanted to share this with someone, I could just copy this link and email it to them, or I could go down here. And there's different ways, like I can share it. It looks like, I guess right there, actually, I can share it in Google Expeditions or Twitter or Facebook, or there's different ways to copy or embed it. But then here are my scenes. So it looks a little more polished here. So then it pops up looking like that. And then here, you know, it'll pop up looking like that, and it kind of turns. So it doesn't look as kind of rough as you all saw it when you saw kind of the back end. And then here, down here is where I can go, and same thing in the library. I can see those pictures I popped in, and over there I can see the same thing, the other picture I popped in. So that's just kind of the basic overview of how to do it. But now I want to show you a little bit more about how you could do it. So I'm going to create a basic tour. By first searching for tour creator. And so you literally can just do a search for tour creator. And again, I'm recording this, so, or if you ever have questions about it, you can always just email me. But when I search for tour creator, this will pop up. It's a Google product, so it's Google Tour Creator. And it'll take me here. And then I'm gonna click Get Started.
How do you spell tour creator?
Good question. Here, I will type it in the chat box so it's easy to, let's see. So there you have it. So since I was already logged in, it took me right here. But if I wasn't logged in, here, let me log out. So that it'll take me to the page you would get to. So I'm going to click Get Started. And I actually think I was logged in a different email. I have a few different emails. I think that's what that was under. But you can just use your Google. Oh no, I wasn't. Never mind. Sorry, I need to go back. I was logged in under my RSU 39. But basically, any Google email you can use. So if your school one is, of course, a Gmail, a Google email, and your if you have a personal Gmail, you could, same thing. It's just got to be a Google email that you use to log in, and it's all completely free. So you see, this is my Caribou, Maine one I did. And then when I was first learning about this, actually, I was exploring and thought, oh, well, let's make a fun one of a place I'd like to go someday. So I decided to do Tahiti, which that's a fun reason to do one of these now too, because we can't really travel or do much right now. And I mean, even certain places in the world might be really difficult ever to go to because they're expensive and or far away. So this is a neat way to explore the world, learn more about the world. So my new tour, so I decided for my little example, I actually, my son was planning a trip for a class at school to Tasmania. Looks like I have to sign in. Oh, here we go. I'm just going to try to go back to his Google Slides presentation. So I was going to do one on Tasmania.
It says welcome to tour creator.
Yep, exactly.
So what do I do now?
Well, in that, then once you get in, you click on the Get Started. Sorry, I'm just trying to sign into my son's account so that I can use his information he started gathering to help create a tour.
Yeah, on my page, it has a little button in the upper left that says New Tour. Is that where you get started?
Exactly, yep. So I was here, I click Get Started, or if once I'm already logged in, yep, it should have New Tour, or like mine, since I already had a few tours, I clicked New Tour, but I already had a few, so my page would look a little different, but I click New Tour, and I'm gonna name mine Tasmania. And then to select an image, oh, I guess for this I have to, like a lot of times to find images, I'll go to a site like Creative Commons. And so I'm doing a search for Creative Commons images, and I'll put that in the chat box as well. Because I know that those I'm allowed to use without copyright infringement, which means, you know, using them illegally.
In the 7th grade computer science discoveries class, we learn how to use Creative Commons images, and we use their citations when we make our website and use images. We actually, and then we use the citation maker and put it on our web pages using the tool they have. So it's a really great tool.
Neat, which maybe you could show me more how to do that at some point. Because yeah, I know the basics. So I decided to use that Creative Commons images. I did a search, and I could, from here, just find a neat picture I like of Tasmania. This looks like kind of a neat one. So I'm gonna go to that, and then I'm clicking copy. I think that'll work, or I guess I could just drag it to my, a lot of times I drag to my desktop. That's why you see all these photos over here. So then, sorry, back in my tour.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm having trouble right now.
What's your question? What's your trouble?
Like, I went to select an image, and it select a file to open.
Yes, so that's where you need to go to this Creative Commons site to find an image. So depending on where you want your trip to be, there's more than one site where you can use any images without using them illegally. Like Creative Commons is one. Another one I use sometimes is called, I'll put it in the chat box, Unsplash. Unsplash, yep.
That's
Um,
another
and
site.
so once you're in one of those sites, you can find an image and then you can upload it to your tour. And
Unsplash, that's a website.
yeah, so if I were to search Unsplash,
Okay.
this is what'll pop up right at the top. Unsplash, beautiful free images and pictures.
Okay. I see now. Okay.
And so if I went here and searched for Tasmania, same thing, a bunch of different pictures would pop up and I could find one I just thought looked really cool. And say I
Scene of cars. From Cars 3.
yeah, exactly. So if you wanted to do Cars, like the movie,
Yeah, the movie.
okay, so Cars 3, I'm not sure. See, this is more like photos. But the Creative Commons, I don't know, Mrs. Anderson, do you know if they would have more like, I don't know if Mrs. Anderson's there right this minute.
Oh,
But
I'm listening. I'm just playing with it. So what was your question about Creative Commons?
if they would have, because Blake is interested in images for like the movie Cars 3. Well, so they have, yeah,
It's a little bit limited. It's kind of hit or miss. You try to type in exactly what you're looking for and see if it's available, but a lot of the copyrighted materials won't be on there because they want to make sure you're not making money off of what they're doing.
yeah.
So when it's something really popular like that, it's a little bit difficult. You have to kind of search and see what's available.
So, so yeah, you'll have to play around with it a little, Blake, but it probably would work a little better to do something that's not cartoony, that has actual photos. So like a place you want to visit, or like one thought I had, like the fifth graders can, if they wanted to do a tour of the westward expansion, like the Oregon Trail, different places on the Oregon Trail. So for this though, Tasmania, I'm just going to put a trip to Tasmania. And then I down here click create. Oh, a category. So again, like I was showing you before, places and scenes. And then I'm going to click create. Oh, it's saying something about my internet connection. Oop.
Oh.
Sorry, just a sec. I was having an, oh, you know what? Well.
Oh my word.
Just a sec here. We had some internet issues last night, actually. So I was a little worried this morning that if I had internet issues, I wouldn't even be able to do the Zoom, but.
I just found.
But I guess I had enough of an issue that I have to kind of start over. So I'm just going to get back to where I was.
Oh. You have to start again?
Just quickly, no big deal. So I'm just putting that photo back and then putting places and scenes and then clicking create and hoping it works fine this time. There we go. Okay, so to add a scene. So this is, to me, the fun part. So I'm gonna go to my son's Tasmania presentation. Oh geez, now I can't get in. Well, I remember where he went, so I'm just gonna go with what I know. I think it's confusing my system because I am in my Google account and then I was in his, and so I can't be in both at the same time. So I remember one place he went to was called Glenfern, Tasmania. So, and he was just planning it for the class.
Oh, that looks
But so the problem is there should hopefully be something that pops up over here, like a Google Scenes. So that's where I need to maybe find something else. Let me just do Tasmania. We'll just make it a general trip to Tasmania. Let's go to Hobart.
This is really great.
So here, this is a random thing that pops up, a mall. So I'm not going to go to the mall, but I could pick, I could drag my little person somewhere else in Tasmania, in Hobart. And look, there's a beautiful, beautiful scene. This looks more like it. And I don't, this is, I don't know what this is. So I do my research. That's why I was going to use my son's plan. But so this is a scene, and I'm going to say Hobart, Tasmania. And so it's got this 360-degree photo already that someone else took, so I don't have to worry about getting photographs. And then I'm going to click Set Starting View. And I can pick whichever way I want to have it start. So that's kind of a neat scene of, looks like Hobart. And then I can do a description. And again, I have some research I would do, Hobart, Tasmania. I don't know a whole lot about it, but that's where I would go back, and for adding a point of interest, maybe I go back to find a photo. Oh, sorry, Hobart, Tasmania. So this looks like some different places in Hobart. And I could pick one, but I'd have to kind of learn about it. That's the thing. So that's where I'd have to kind of know what I wanted to add. So let's click on that. And, oh, it doesn't tell you a whole lot about it. I was hoping it would tell me a little bit more about it. Oh, here, information, sorry. Nope, still doesn't tell me a whole lot about it. But it looks like a fountain maybe in the center. So I'm gonna go to the images website just to see if I get a little bit more information. And still not getting a whole lot, but it's at least a free site I could use. Or I'm sorry, a free photo I could use. So, oh, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to go back. So if I wanted to use that in my tour, sorry, I keep getting.
Question.
Yeah.
How do you get the unsplash picture to your thing?
How do I get the what? Unsplash photo to your tour? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
I will show you that again in just a second. I'm just seeing if I can find some more information about that fountain. Oh, it doesn't really have anything. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the name of it. The Tasman Fountain. I'm thinking that's it. I just want to, I want to have some actual good information before I just start plopping things in. The Tasman Fountain. I think that's it. So from Unsplash, you were asking, you can download a photo. And Is this that fountain? Nope. But I could actually go back, see if I could find one specifically. Well, here's that railway roundabout fountain. So I could do that one instead if I wanted. Okay, so to get a photo on Unsplash into your tour, and this is just the way I would do it. So I'm going back to Unsplash. And so let's see here. I'll try Fountain, Hobart, Tasmania, and I might not get anything. Okay, so this is just giving me fountains in general, so it's not giving me, but say I was doing, here, let me just do Tasmania. Say I wanted this photo, I click here, and you see it pops up the little, right there, it said download photo, so I click that, and it downloads. And for me in Google Chrome, it downloads just to right there, but it also would be in my downloads folder. So then say I was back in here and in my tour wanted to add that to this point of interest. This is where I click and either drop an image in there or select it. So like that one, I could go like this and just drag it.
So I can drag it to the app.
Exactly. You can drag it to the tour creator. And then I click add. And then when I pop, or it's still working on importing it, I think. I think it added. Well, here, I'll do that fountain for fun. Hopefully it's coming. It's taking a second, I think, but and I'd want a lot more information than this, but I'm just putting fountain in Hobart. There we go. So they both added. Okay, so I think I have two. So then there's that one, and there's so that one pops up, and then this one I think was, I don't know, the tour creator is being a little bit weird for me right now because this is kind of a random dot that's not disappearing, that should. So that one I tried to label fountain in Hobart. And then, oh, so, and I can move it, as you can see, I can move where I want it to pop up from. So wherever I move it, that circle will move. So if I knew the fountain was like kind of near this part of the city, like somewhere in the middle there, I might have it pop up from there. Or if this one, and you don't have to add a photo, that could just be a description if I didn't want to add a photo, but say I'm going to add another photo and I'm going to add the, oh, the one that, oops. I'm going to add this one. And then I can add a description for that. And I don't honestly know what that is, so I'm just going to call it house. And I'm not publishing this because this is not a polished, accurate, factual presentation, but it's just I want to show you the basics of how to create. So the other one, the one I did on Caribou, I made sure I had good information. And, oh, it looks like that picture, for whatever reason, does not want to upload.
It's in unsplash.com wants to download mobile files allow or block?
Well, it depends on if you want to allow them to.
I just pushed allow.
Okay, that'll just let them come down. So this is a different one I'm going to put in there. And that is that railroad fountain in Hobart. Or sorry, the railroad roundabout.
Oh yay. Okay. It worked.
I'm using my capital letters since it's a proper noun, it's a title. So that would pop up there. And then this one, I still don't know what's going on with that one. That's kind of, but when I am now, let's say I'm done with this scene, then I would just
Yay!
click.
I did it!
Yay! You did it?
Yes, I did it!
All right.
I don't know.
Then I click add a scene. And I do the exact same thing again. So instead of Hobart, here, I'm going to search Tasmania again and say, okay, where else do I want to go in Tasmania? Where else?
Do I put,
So I'm going to go to Launceston, Tasmania now. Or if I want to, ooh, a national park, that sounds awesome. Franklin Gordon Wild Rivers National Park. Let's go there. I'm gonna drag the little yellow guy. That's kind of to put it down in. Ooh, that is beautiful. So this is, say, my next stop on my tour. And again, I do all my research and learn about this to make sure I'm putting correct information. But Franklin Gordon Wild Rivers National Park. So once I find my 3D view, I'm gonna add scene.
you might want to guess what I just added.
And then again, I can do those points of interest, but I can, first of all, I can set my starting view, and I don't really want to look at gates and a car for a starting view. Oh, it's not letting me rotate.
Where are you? Where is that?
I don't know why it's not letting me change my starting view. So I'll just, I guess, stick with this, but I don't really want to do a point of interest on the car though. So I will say this, because this is the Gordon River Dam, or the Gordon Dam, it says. So maybe I'll go back to Creative Commons and see if I can find the Gordon Dam in Tasmania.
Okay.
Oh, there we go, cool. But then I'd want to learn more about it. But here's a bunch of different photos of the Gordon Dam. Oh, and like here, maybe is a historical photo of that area. I'm not positive, but that might be something neat to include something about how old it is, how long it's been there. But for now, I'm just gonna drag that to my desktop. And for my point of interest, I'm gonna put that in there. Click add. I know I'm going kind of fast. I hope I'm not going too fast. I'm just trying to show you the basics. And this is just something you can, oh, see, and that pic is really big, kind of, so I'm gonna drag the corners in. But you can always email me to ask me questions. I can even Zoom with you again to answer questions.
Oh my goodness. I am getting a bunch.
Oh, here we go. So now I can set my starting view. Oh, for whatever reason. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. So there's my starting view, much better. And then when I click on this, oh, so then that Gordon Dam, actually I might put more like here. Oh geez.
What did it?
It accidentally, I hit the back button. So I'm just going back in. And I can just click right down at the bottom here. You see all your scenes will pop up along here.
Okay.
I got right back to where I left.
Okay.
And then I could keep adding points of interest. I could keep adding scenes. And then when I'm done, I can publish. So I just want to make sure there's no other, there's no other things I want to do right now with that. I'm going to click publish.
Oh.
And then once I decide on publish, I can decide if I want to do public or unlisted. So public would mean, of course, that anyone could find it or search it. And unlisted would mean, of course, that it would just be a link that you could share, but someone couldn't search it. So since I'm just making this for fun right now, and I'm going to publish it just to show you how that works. But this is not a final.
Question.
So this is where it's publishing too, and this is, I could copy it and then email it to my teacher if I were doing this for a project or something, or if I wanted to share it with a friend. And then I click done. Oh wait, it did give me the option to, or if I changed anything, if I went and added another scene and changed something, I could then publish it again to update it anytime. So you can publish it even if it's maybe not fully done, or if you realize later you want to go back and add something or change something, or you notice something's misspelled or whatever, you can always go back. But now let's go and see. I think I copied that link. So I can go see that scene. So then this is what it would look like once I published it, just like that Caribou one. And see here, I can even edit right from here. I could click on this to edit, since it's my tour that I created. But this is actually a neat site, because this website, there's a ton of tours that other people have created.
I'm so confused right now.
I know, Blake, I'm giving you a lot here, aren't I, bud?
I can barely, I don't know. I just, you know that map and you put your guy somewhere?
Yep.
Well, I put him next to the ocean.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what to do now.
Okay, well, let me get here to add scene so I can kind of do the same thing as you're doing. So you're in this part, is that right?
I'm like, yeah.
Okay, and what are you searching for?
I'm at Dune, Edward, San Francisco Bay Natural Wildlife. I don't know.
Natural wildlife. What country or state?
Yeah. I'm right near.
Are you in that too? Right here? The Don Edwards?
Yeah, I'm right there.
Okay, so say I was here and I wanted to do a tour of the San Francisco area. So I just take this little guy. If I wanted to go to the San Francisco Bay National Wildlife Center, I just drag him over there. Take the little yellow guy wherever I want to go. And it'll plot me down in the map, so then I can pick a scene that I want for my next, or say I wanted to go to this Bear Island. Let's see, Bear Island. More of a downtown area. Or I wanted to go to Mountain View neighborhood. I can click on him, hold him down, drag him over there. What's in Mountain View? So I can pick whatever scene I want to add. And then once I find the 360-degree photo I want, that's when I click my add scene.
How do you add scene?
So I'm gonna, just since I'm doing the Tasmania one, I'll find something in Tasmania to add another scene. Here, I'm gonna take this little yellow guy. I'm going to click on him with one finger and hold it down and then drag it with my other finger, with the second finger, to wherever I want to go. So I'm going to go to this town, try to go to this town. Oh, it plopped me a little bit away, although that's a beautiful scene. Oh, it's not letting me go exactly where I want to go. Maybe there might not be photos of certain places either. Oh, that looks kind of cool. There's like
Airplane.
well, no, I think that's some kind of a chairlift.
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyways, I'll click that to add a scene. But then I'd have to.
How do you add it?
So you click add scene. Did you see where I just was when I added a scene?
I see now. I see now.
You see that down in the corner?
I just did that.
If I decided I didn't want this scene, I could just click delete. Down here, there's other options. I can move it. If I wanted this one to be the first scene, I could click move left. If there were more scenes this way, I could click move right. Oh, I'm gonna click cancel.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go.
Is that kind of making sense?
Yeah. Now I get it.
Any other questions? Because I know it was kind of a quick overview, and I hope it made sense, but I'm at this point can answer any questions anyone might have. But a lot of it'll be playing around with it too. So if you play around and have more questions.
What I needed the name of it.
You what?
Do I add it?
You got what you needed?
Do I put add point of interest?
If you want to. That's where those little photos pop up. So in here, I added this. This is one of those points of interest. So if you want something to pop up.
Yeah, now I see. Yup.
And that's where you can then add a photo, or you can record yourself, which you'd have to do with some type of recording app. I could explore that. I haven't messed around with that too much. So that's what you can do.
This is kind of easy.
It's really not bad. It's once you mess around with it, it's pretty easy. So.
You had to guess what I added.
What did you add?
You had to guess.
Oh, I'm supposed to really guess. I don't know. Because I don't even know what your tour is about. Did you end up still doing one about cars?
Who lives under the sea? Lives in the pineapple.
Under the sea and lives in the pineapple? I don't know. Oh, SpongeBob.
Yeah.
There you go. Funny.
I described it.
All right. Well, unless anyone has more questions, I'll probably wrap this up. But you all know how to reach me if you have questions as you explore more.
Okay, do I push publish?
If you want to, but you might want to work on it for a little bit and add a few more scenes before you publish it.
Oh, that's a good.
I'd say the normal length of the VR tours that I use in classes is about maybe 6 scenes. I'd say 4 to 8 scenes. 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 scenes is kind of the typical length of a tour. More than that can be a little bit too long, and less than that is just too short.
I wish I could have shown you my screen.
You want to show me your screen?
Yeah.
Okay, let me do something so you can do that.